Basic economic problem. At its core, economics is concerned with the allocation of scarce resources to satisfy unlimited wants and needs. This fundamental issue is known as the basic economic problem. It forces individuals, businesses, and governments to make choices about what goods and services to produce, how to produce them, and for whom they are produced. Demand and supply. Demand refers to the quantity of a good or service that consumers are willing and able to purchase at various prices, while supply represents the quantity that producers are willing to offer for sale at those prices. The interaction of demand and supply determines the equilibrium price and quantity in a market. Factors such as consumer preferences, income levels, and production costs influence demand and supply. Price elasticity of demand and supply. Elasticity measures the responsiveness of quantity demanded or supplied to changes in price. If demand or supply is elastic, a small change in price leads to a proportionally larger change in quantity demanded or supplied. Conversely, if demand or supply is inelastic, changes in price result in relatively small changes in quantity. Elasticity affects pricing decisions, revenue management, and government policies. Market structures. Markets can be classified into different structures based on the number of firms, barriers to entry, and degree of control over price. Perfect competition, where many small firms sell identical products, represents one extreme, while monopoly, where a single firm dominates the market, represents the other. Oligopoly and monopolistic competition fall somewhere in between. Each structure has implications for efficiency, market power, and consumer welfare. Government intervention. Governments intervene in markets to address market failures, promote competition, and achieve social objectives. This intervention can take various forms, including taxation, subsidies, price controls, and regulation. For example, environmental regulations aim to internalize externalities, while antitrust laws prevent monopolies from abusing their market power. International trade. International trade involves the exchange of goods and services across national borders. Countries engage in trade to benefit from specialization based on comparative advantage, where they produce goods and services at a lower opportunity cost than other countries. Trade allows countries to expand their markets, access resources, and promote economic growth. However, it also raises issues related to trade imbalances, protectionism, and global economic integration. Macroeconomic objectives. Governments pursue macroeconomic objectives such as economic growth, full employment, price stability, and external balance. Economic growth is essential for improving living standards and reducing poverty, while low unemployment ensures a more equitable distribution of income. Price stability, typically measured by a low and stable inflation rate, preserves the purchasing power of money. External balance refers to a sustainable balance of payments position, where a country's exports equal its imports over time. Macroeconomic policies. Governments use fiscal and monetary policies to influence aggregate demand and stabilize the economy. Fiscal policy involves changes in government spending and taxation to stimulate or restrain economic activity. Expansionary fiscal policy, such as increased government spending or tax cuts, aims to boost aggregate demand during recessions. Contractionary fiscal policy, such as spending cuts or tax hikes, aims to cool down an overheating economy. Monetary policy, conducted by central banks, involves adjusting interest rates and managing the money supply to control inflation and support economic growth. Development economics. Development economics examines the factors that contribute to the economic growth and development of countries, particularly low-income and emerging economies. It considers measures of development beyond economic growth, such as improvements in education, healthcare, and infrastructure. Development economists study the role of institutions, technology, trade, foreign aid, and governance in promoting sustainable development and reducing poverty. Globalization. Globalization refers to the increasing integration and interconnectedness of economies around the world. It encompasses the flow of goods, services, capital, technology, and ideas across borders. Globalization has facilitated economic growth, increased efficiency, and expanded consumer choices. However, it has also led to concerns about income inequality, job displacement, cultural homogenization, and environmental degradation. Managing the opportunities and challenges of globalization requires international cooperation, policy coordination, and inclusive growth strategies. Inflation. Inflation refers to the sustained increase in the general price level of goods and services in an economy over a period of time. It erodes the purchasing power of money, leading to a decrease in real income and wealth. Governments and central banks aim to maintain price stability by targeting a low and stable inflation rate through monetary policy tools such as interest rate adjustments and open market operations. Deflation. Deflation is the opposite of inflation, characterized by a sustained decrease in the general price level of goods and services. While it may seem beneficial for consumers initially, deflation can lead to lower investment, increased unemployment, and economic stagnation as businesses and individuals delay spending in anticipation of further price declines. Policymakers use expansionary monetary and fiscal policies to combat deflationary pressures and stimulate economic activity. Recession. A recession is a significant decline in economic activity across the economy, typically characterized by a contraction in GDP, rising unemployment, and decreased consumer spending. Recessions can result from various factors, such as a decline in consumer confidence, financial crises, or external shocks. Governments implement counter-cyclical policies, including fiscal stimulus packages and monetary easing, to mitigate the impact of recessions and promote economic recovery. Current account of balance. The current account of the balance of payments tracks the inflow and outflow of goods, services, income, and transfers between a country and the rest of the world over a specific period, typically a year. It comprises several components, including trade in goods, exports and imports, trade in services, such as tourism, financial services, and transportation, primary income, income earned from investments abroad minus income paid to foreign investors, and secondary income, transfers of money such as remittances and foreign aid. A surplus in the current account indicates that a country is exporting more than it imports and is earning more income from abroad than it is paying out. It can signify economic strength and competitiveness, but it may also indicate weak domestic demand. Conversely, a deficit in the current account means that a country is importing more than it exports and is paying out more income to foreigners than it is receiving. While a deficit can be sustainable in the short term, persistent deficits may lead to a buildup of external debt and vulnerability to external shocks. Governments and policymakers monitor the current account closely as it reflects the overall health of the economy and its position in the global economy. They may implement policies to address imbalances in the current account, such as promoting exports, reducing import dependency, attracting foreign investment, or adjusting exchange rates.